We are inside Studio Z and 98.9 WCLZ with Vance Joy. Thank you so much again for doing this with us today.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but for that last song, you don't have to introduce it.
Okay.
We all get it now,
Okay,
you know?
okay, good.
What an insane year you had last year. I found this number. Streaming services came out and said that people around the world, streamed 1,700 years worth of your music last year.
That's good. Wow.
I was going to ask you, what word comes to mind when you hear that? Good is the first thing?
Good. Yeah, that's like a 17-year-old person. I think I remember actually my managers sent me that, and it's cool. I guess people stream a lot of music now, so I think it just makes me happy that people are listening to my music and getting to know my songs, which is the most important thing for an artist. I think is that people embrace their music, and I guess that's what you hope. You hope that your music connects with people. So that's, I guess, is evidence of that. So that's good.
And it definitely connects even further than that. You get so many gifts and letters in the mail. I saw kind of a year-end picture that you had. Can you just spotlight some of the things you've gotten just in this last year?
Got some nice things. I think it depends.
Let's keep it PG too.
I didn't get any cars. Yeah, no, it was more. It's just sweet little gifts that I get. And sweet, I think, is probably the operative word because I think I mentioned that I have a sweet tooth on something. So people will bring me like lollies and maple syrup. I was in Canada. I got a lot of maple syrup. So I've got more maple syrup than we know what to do with. And just gifts. And what I get? Posters sometimes at shows, which is really nice. And I get really nice letters. I got a really nice letter from a 10-year-old girl who the front of it was a coloured in. It was like a colouring in kind of scene. She painted this, beautiful scene with a horse, and then on the back she'd written this letter saying like, whenever she feels stressed, she listens to my music and she feels good. And it said James in love hearts on it, and we've got that protected in the kitchen. So that's good.
If you didn't get Valentine's in middle school or high school, I'm sure you're getting them now. So I think you
making up for for the drought.
There was not a drought. Let's be real here. Come on. We're with Vance Joy. It's a Studio Z. We've got a show tonight, or you've got a show tonight at the State Theater, another sold-out show. And one of the things that I wanted to ask you about in this last year, you played in front of some huge crowds across the world. Tell us about doing a first night, being in a stadium show, opening up for Taylor Swift. What was running through your mind that night?
That first night, that was pretty scary. I'm kind of glad that I had no experience playing to arenas or stadiums, so that was kind of a good thing because I didn't know I thought, this will be all good. And then I got out there and I was like, this is a bit harder than I thought it was going to be. Trying to connect with 15,000 people. And then the next show was, so we went, okay, that was pretty good, but it'd be nice to maybe try to create some kind of vibe between us and the crowd. And then the next show was in Tampa, and we played it wasn't in Tampa, it was in Louisiana, Baton Rouge. And we played to 50,000 people, and that was like, okay. That was scary again. And I was like, okay. But I felt like I could kind of communicate a bit better. I tried a few different things and spoke more slowly. And Taylor Swift's dad was like, just say, hey, I'm Vance. I was like, thank you, Scott.
And one of the things that I thought was great, I don't know how far it was into the tour, but I had seen you had posted that it was kind of, you're having these surreal moments where all these people are showing up to, in part, see Taylor Swift, but as the tour went on, a lot of people were there to see you too, and there's plenty of pictures out there of all these posters that you'd see. What was going through your mind when you first saw that? You see a stadium that big, and then you see people there for you.
That was cool, yeah. I think, especially because it's such a big crowd, and I think people enjoy music in different ways. Like some people will sit back and just chill, and then there'll be a guy in the front like losing his mind, staring at me so I can look at him if I want to get a bit of motivation. Like, if I'm like, this gig is going badly, I know there's a guy who's just like going bananas, and I can just look at that guy, and that guy's just like, I'm with you, man. I'm like, so that's good. So it was awesome. There was, and I think there was some fans out there, and that made a big difference.
And at the end of that tour, is that something, Taylor Swift invites you to go do that? Do you have to give her a gift at the end of something like that?
Yeah. It was like this episode of The Simpsons when, what do you get someone like Mr. Burns, Like, he's got everything. So, not that Taylor Swift is like Mr. Burns. It's a very bad comparison. No, but I did, because I was so grateful, and she's so lovely. And we put some thought into it, and we got her a painting by an Australian artist who does kind of really really iconic paintings, and they're kind of well known in Australia. And we asked him if he would be willing to paint a picture for Taylor, and he said, "Yeah, I'd do it, but any money that you'd pay to me, I'd want you to give it to charity." So we were like, we're going to feel good about that, so we'll do that, you know. And so we did that, and she liked the painting, and there's a photo of us holding the painting, and it's a beautiful painting. So yeah, that was good.
We're amazed at what you've done just in the last year, and we're so happy that you could make some time to stop, not only here in Portland, but to be here with us today. So we thank you so much for doing that. It's Vance Joy, Studio Z. Can we get one more before you head out?
Absolutely.